Welcome back to another NHL Deal or No Deal episode. After a hectic start to the NHL offseason, things have finally begun to slow down. Most of the blockbuster moves have already happened, but there are still several intriguing players whose names continue to circulate in trade rumors. So today, we're diving into another round of fan-submitted mock trades to decide whether each proposal is a deal or no deal. The first trade proposal sends Connor Zary to the Boston Bruins and Lohrei to the Calgary Flames. This is a classic hockey trade, a simple one-for-one swap where both teams address different needs. Connor Zary has reportedly been available on the trade market for some time. Meanwhile, Lohrei remains an intriguing young defenseman. At 6'5", he skates exceptionally well, has solid offensive instincts, and plenty of upside. However, his defensive consistency and physical play still need significant improvement. With Boston's blue line becoming increasingly crowded, Lohrei could find himself on the outside looking in. For Calgary, a rebuilding team with plenty of opportunities available, he could receive the ice time and patience needed to develop into a reliable top-four defenseman. From Boston's perspective, Connor Zary could be a valuable addition. He's still just 24 years old, plays both center and wing, and has the potential to become a dependable middle-six forward, capable of scoring 15 to 20 goals every season. Considering both teams benefit from this change of scenery, this trade earns a deal. Next up is a proposal involving DeBrusk. The trade sends DeBrusk to the Chicago Blackhawks, while Vancouver receives 2 second-round draft picks. It's honestly surprising that DeBrusk hasn't already been moved. His contract is very reasonable in today's NHL salary cap environment, and he's consistently capable of scoring between 20 and 25 goals per season. Chicago has improved in certain areas this offseason, but the team's forward group still lacks experienced top-six talent. Connor Bedard needs proven veterans around him, and DeBrusk would fit that role perfectly. He's much more than just a goal scorer. During his best years in Boston, he was known for his responsible two-way game and his ability to contribute in every situation. For Vancouver, collecting additional draft picks makes sense as they continue focusing on the future. This is another easy deal. The third proposal involves Wright heading to the Minnesota Wild, while Seattle receives Aaron Kiviharju, Yakov Trenin, and a second-round pick. Minnesota certainly needs another top-six center. The question is whether this package is enough to convince Seattle to move one of their most promising young players. The answer is probably no. Aaron Kiviharju hasn't developed the way many expected. Yakov Trenin is primarily a bottom-six forward, and a second-round pick simply doesn't make up the difference in value. Although reports suggest that Wright and the Kraken have been open to exploring trade possibilities this summer, Seattle isn't going to trade him just for the sake of making a move. Unless a significantly stronger offer comes along, the Kraken are better off keeping Wright. That makes this trade a clear no deal. The next blockbuster proposal involves Larkin joining the Carolina Hurricanes, while Detroit receives Nikishin, Bradley Nadeau, and future draft picks. Carolina appears to be one of the best possible destinations for Larkin. They're coming off a Stanley Cup victory and remain built to compete for championships over the next several years. For Detroit, the centerpiece of the return is Nikishin, a defenseman capable of stepping directly into their top four. Bradley Nadeau is another exciting young player who looks ready to contribute at the NHL level. While Detroit would still need to address its lack of center depth afterward, the overall value of this package is extremely strong. Because both teams improve in different ways, this proposal receives a deal. The next trade focuses on cap management. Anaheim sends Frank Vatrano and a second-round pick to Vancouver in order to clear salary cap space. The Ducks need financial flexibility to finalize contracts for their young core, making Vatrano one of the most logical players to move. For Vancouver, this is exactly the type of rebuilding move that makes sense. They can use their available cap space to acquire extra draft capital while giving Vatrano an opportunity to rebuild his value. If he bounces back offensively, Vancouver could later flip him for another valuable return at the trade deadline. For that reason, this proposal also earns a deal. The final trade in this section sends Jonathan Marchessault from Nashville to Montreal in exchange for a first-round pick and additional selections. This one is an easy no deal. Marchessault is still a productive player, But at 35 years old, he no longer fits Montreal's long-term rebuilding timeline. Giving up premium assets, especially a first-round pick, for an aging veteran simply doesn't make sense for a young team trying to build for the future. Because of that mismatch, this trade is rejected with a no-deal verdict.